Congrats on finishing the first 2 scenes so far. In this video, I'm going to show you how to animate the third scene, which is the New York City scene. Let's start with where we left off from the last video. I already have the first 2 scenes set up, and this is what it looks like here. As I'm looking at this second scene here, I feel like there should be a bit more movement, so I kind of want to act this wiggle effect on the map in the background as well. So the background, instead of just staying still, it can just wiggle a little bit to add more movement to the second scene. Let me just quickly do that first. I can go to any of the layer that has the wiggle effect on, maybe the ribbon, and then I can just copy the 2 wiggle effects. Command C. Let me find the map layer. Newspaper. This is a newspaper. Command V. Put it on the newspaper layer. And then I can also add in remember the posterized time effect from the first scene, posterized time. Any layer that has the effect, I can just copy Command C, and then let's go back to the main composition, select the newspaper and paste it in. Command V. Now our newspaper, this background, has a wiggle effect on as well. It's just adding more movement to the background. That looks pretty good. From here, what I need to do is I need to add in a transition from this scene to the next New York City scene. So what I want to do is I want this blue rectangle to expand, cover the whole thing. Let me find the rectangle. This is the rectangle, I believe. Okay. I want this rectangle to expand from this point on. Let me just go to the mask path. I can toggle this arrow here and click on this arrow, click on the mask, and then click on the mask 1, find the mask path, and then put a keyframe on here. Go forward 10 frames. And now I can drag the first 2 points on top and then expand the mask. And these 2 bottom one, expand that as well. So it has a animation similar to this. It's just gonna expand the mask from the center, going outward. After I have this, I need to add another white solid layer on top of the rectangle. Let's go to Layer, New, Solid. And then I can change it to a white color. Make it the same size as the frame, 1920 by 1080. Click on OK. And what I want to do is I want to add just drag this layer all the way around this area, around here. And then I want to add a mask on this layer as well. So I can add a rectangle mask. Just draw a mask. With the rectangle tool selected, just draw a mask on top of the white solid layer. Let me go into the mask path, and then what I can do is I can try to animate this mask expansion here. You see that? If I drag the mask expansion to negative pixels, it's gonna close the mask, and then if I drag it to the outward, it's gonna make the mask bigger and bigger. So I can animate this mask expansion from negative 80, maybe negative 85, where you cannot see the white pixel at all. And then after 10 frames, I want to expand the mask all the way out. Something like that. Yep, that works. But now I need to add a keyframe velocity to the rectangle, the blue rectangle, and the white mask. So I want to add before I do that, you see right now, when the timeline hit this white mask layer, it's gonna cover anything that's below that layer. So I want the layer to start from here, this point on. So I need to cut the layer over here. Just cut it. Option left square bracket on Mac, or Alt left square bracket on PC to cut the layer over there. And then I can select the 2 keyframes on the rectangle. Right click, keyframe velocity, change it to 66%, and then change this one to 66 as well. Let's see what it looks like. So I want the white mask to animate just following this blue rectangle. So I want to put it back a little bit, make it animate earlier, something like that, and then drag the two keyframes further apart, make the movement slower. Yep, something like that. That works. You see? When the airplane exits, I have the blue rectangle expand, and then I have a white rectangle expand from the center. And this is my transition to the next New York scene. Save the project. Now what I need to do is I need to import the New York composition. Let's go back to the project panel here and then go to pre-comps, scene 3, which is in New York City. Let's drag the scene down to this main composition and then move it all the way back around 9-second mark. Something like that. However, I want this white color here to be a mask, because right now I have this frame 3 on top of this mask. So when the transition happens, I cannot see the frame 3 until it hits. When the frame 3 comes in, it's going to cover the transition. That's not what I want. I want to duplicate this layer, Command D, and then put it on top of this layer 3, and then set a track matte, which is the alpha matte. It's going to give us this kind of effect. When the transition comes in, I can see there's like an open gate of the blue layer, and then I can see this New York City scene comes in. So let me just quickly explain what a track matte is. Basically, if I change this white color solid layer to a different color, let's change it to red. It doesn't matter. Wait 1 second. Let me change it to a red color here. You see? So wherever is this red color, that's when the layer below it is going to be visible. So right now you can see the red color is a little very long rectangle in the center, and if I turn this eye icon off, you can see this is where the layer below it is going to be visible. And as we have the red layer become bigger and bigger, like this big, this is the area, the red area is the area where the layer below it is going to be visible. So that's what happens for a track matte, a alpha matte. If I turn off this eye icon, you can see the area that's marked red before is visible for the layer below it. This whole red area makes the layer below it visible. Let's move on. We have this transition done here.